3 times as many people visit Amsterdam compared to Rotterdam each year.
But Rotterdam isn't a city to be overlooked.
Join us this week as we explore the Dutch city that most tourists miss.
We're Rick and Adam, the floating nomads.
Living aboard our narrowboat Serenissima and slow travelling the rest of the world.
Join us on board and abroad.
Rotterdam has it all. Futuristic architecture, historic quarters, and even some surprisingly urban floating cows. Let us show you a place that completely surprised us, and why, for us, a living, breathing city like this beats Amsterdam every time.
Welcome to Rotterdam. It's a really easy transport network here, so easy to get around.
Yeah, there's an underground network, there are trams, it's all really well connected.
Yeah, and not very busy at all. And we find ourselves, you just see behind me, at our first destination stay. These are the cube houses of Rotterdam.
So you will notice over the course of this video that Rotterdam doesn't really look like very many other Dutch cities. And that's because it was bombed really badly on one single day in 1940. And the bombing was so bad that it basically destroyed the whole city. Because of that, the Netherlands actually surrendered the very next day. That's how bad it was. But what that means now is that the architecture is all new. And most of it is stunning, like these.
But what are they? What are they for, these cube houses?
Well,
are they
houses.
Are they actually just
Yes.
houses?
There are 38 of them, and they are mostly all still lived in by people.
Okay, so we can't go in.
Yeah, there is one we can go in, yeah.
Shall we?
Yes?
Are they meant to look a bit tree-like?
Yes, they are. So the architect...
Give me the facts,
Yeah,
Richard.
the architect wanted to create a forest of houses in the middle of the city, so that's why they are basically a stick with a cube on top of it to look like a tree.
Okay.
You can sort of see that they look like trees, can't you? In this amazing Van Gogh style.
Try not to fall forward when looking out. Is that all you need?
That's bigger than what we've got on the boat. Dutch staircase, very steep.
It's cute though. I do like
Oh,
it.
it's really cute, but it's just a bit weird. I'd fall over a lot if I lived in. I fall over a lot anyway, but I'd fall over a lot if I lived in here.
I wonder if any of these are Airbnbs.
Probably.
I would genuinely like to stay in one.
It's a great location.
Yeah, centre, very central.
You automatically want to lean and look out of the window. It's really discombobulating.
Now this is a cool living room.
It is. You can only use the middle of it because all the sides are too small because you're basically in like a turret.
I can probably use the sides.
You could probably use the sides, yeah.
What I really like is this just here. As you come up the stairs, it looks like there's a giant cube hanging down from the ceiling. But it's just art. It's
3D.
flat. It's 3D. But the thing about being in the Netherlands during a heat wave, you do not want to be in a glass living
building
room.
that's made of glass, that's the same thing.
Right, time to get out. And once again, we were the only people in that whole museum.
Always happens.
Do you know what? If you want to visit a city, you should come with us because you'll get the whole place to yourself.
They are.
Yes, you are. But the thing about those houses is they're pretty small.
Yeah, there were 3 floors, but they were all quite tiny and lots of space you couldn't use because they're all weird shaped.
It's not what we're used to at the moment. We have 8 nights in the most fantastic Airbnb we have ever been in. It is a penthouse and it is 110 square meters.
It's absolutely bonkers. And it's only 1 bedroom.
It's mind-blowing. I mean, it's not every day that I could fly the drone in order to do the apartment tour inside. I bet you might want to see that. Well, the members can. We're giving you a tour of the apartment and we're going to spend a night in. If you want to see it, you know what to do. You need to join our Nomads Club. Scan the QR code below or click the join button. So next stop is just a short walk away. We're going to a market hall. So this is the Markthal, or market hall. What goes on in there then?
Have a guess.
What? So it's like a food market?
Food market, yeah. So the reason it exists is because in 2014 there were EU regulations that prohibited the selling of fresh fish, meat, cheese outside. So they had to build a big market hall. And this is it.
It's a huge mural.
They call it the Sistine Chapel in Rotterdam. That is 11,000 square metres.
Meters.
Meters.
It's almost as big as our apartment. So whatever food you can think of in here, basically, isn't it? If you fancy Vietnamese, charcuterie, Indonesian, fast food. And actually, it is quite a representation of Rotterdam itself. This is a whole melting pot of cultures. It's such a cosmopolitan city. It's fantastic. And yeah, this just represents that, really. Even fish and chips over there. We were a bit silly. Before we came out filming today, we actually had lunch in the apartment, forgetting that we were coming to a food hall. However, I think we can squeeze in a juice.
It's €8 though.
Yeah, that is something. Rotterdam is not cheap, whether it's supermarket or going out. Yeah, you're going to be spending quite a lot. All those meatballs.
Wow, they're
Different flavoured.
they
Honey
Japanese?
mustard
Japanese and
sauce.
Korean, wow.
Wow, this is my sort of food. I mean, we've been in food halls before in different cities. I mean, Barcelona comes to mind, but that is just kind of local produce. I don't think I've ever seen one with so many different flavours from so many different countries.
Absolutely enormous. We need to come back here one evening, don't we? And just like have bits from all different places.
Yes. Stuff our face. Yeah, we have to go back there. I really want to eat every single bit of food. The great thing about Rotterdam that we have really loved over this last week or so is that you can just wander anywhere and you can generally find something to look at.
Yeah, we just flip between cool district to cool district.
Yeah.
It's that sort of place.
It is so vibrant and so alive. We love it. Yeah, and as you can see, there are harbours everywhere here in Rotterdam. It's very pretty. Go on then, building facts, please.
So that building is called the White House, not that one. And what we're looking at now is Europe's first skyscraper. Seriously.
Date built, please.
1898. And if you look around, you'll see that's the only thing around here that survived all that bombing in 1940. This one skyscraper. It's not really a skyscraper by today's standards, but it was.
How many floors?
10.
Okay. But yeah, okay.
So Europe's first high-rise building, and it was specifically designed to look like the ones in New York.
And from here you can really see how it's the only old skyscraper left now. All the post-war skyscrapers, and many, many of them behind now.
It does feel like a very vertical city, Rotterdam. Like, for example, the apartment we're staying in, 15 floors up, and that seems quite normal.
Looking out to these Dutch barges, Serenissima isn't Rick's first boat that he's lived on.
No, my first boat I lived on a long time ago in Salford Quays was a Dutch barge, and it was from I think about 1910. It's literally from here. It said Rotterdam on the back of it.
He didn't own it, he just rented half of it.
Yeah.
And actually it's still there, I think.
I think so.
Near to the Copthorne Hotel.
If that's still there, I don't know
Yeah,
whether
in
that is.
Salford Quays. So if you're ever about that big Dutch barge there, Rick used to live on half of it.
Is it?
But that isn't the only old thing left here in Rotterdam. There is a whole neighbourhood full of buildings that weren't flattened during the war.
And it has a very special link with America.
And it's called Delfshaven. And we went there yesterday. So we're on our way now to get a water taxi. And this is another great way of getting around Rotterdam and so easy to use. There's a specific app and you just select a stop and then a destination stop, and it'll give you a time when the next available water taxi will arrive.
But the good thing about it is it isn't really that expensive. Like, if you get a water taxi in Venice, how much will you pay? No matter where you go, like the minimum you're paying is probably 80, 100 euros.
Yeah, and this is a 15 to 20 minute trip to get us to Delfshaven, and it's only costing us 18 euros. But it's a brilliant way of getting a good view of Rotterdam from the water. That was so cool and so fast.
It was really fun.
Bumpy, but in a really good way.
A great way to see the city, I think.
Yeah.
You might notice that we aren't actually in Delfshaven. That's because somebody put the wrong stop in.
This is far more industrial than we'd thought.
Yes, it's not a quaint little old Dutch town.
Right, so what we were meant to do was go to Delfshaven and then walk a bit to get to
The next thing,
which is a really cool dairy farm that floats.
it's the world's first floating dairy farm.
I've managed to do it the other way around.
So now we've got to walk for 25 minutes to get there.
So let's go see some cows first.
Will there be cheese?
Yes, there will be cheese.
Okay, good.
Well, this is really quite weird because it smells like the countryside.
Yeah, it does, and we're in the middle of an industrial port.
And there it is.
If you didn't know, and you were just walking past, you wouldn't know that that's got cows in it. I can see them now, I know they're there. But how bizarre. So the reason it exists is quite interesting. The guy that built it was in New York when Hurricane Sandy did a lot of damage and basically stopped the food supply getting to the people that need it. He realised that Rotterdam is actually below sea level, and he wondered what would happen if the same thing happened here. So if the water level rose and all the roads are impassable, how would people get food? So this is his answer, basically, to create a floating farm.
Well, we haven't seen a place to buy tickets.
So we just walked and no one stopped us. There's lots of people around and no one stopped us.
We've seen a sign saying farm, so let's go. Not just a floating dairy farm, but a floating solar farm too.
And also a vegetable farm there. Did you see that they were selling vegetables too?
Yeah. It feels like we're being a bit cheeky and trespassing. Hello.
Hello.
Are you scared to go further?
Kinda. They're very big, aren't they, cows?
Yeah.
Hello.
Well, they seem happy enough.
So it looks like all the cows live on that top floor,
Yes.
and underneath is where they take the milk and make it into cheese and yoghurt and other things as well.
So they're in their own penthouse.
Yeah.
That's really nice to see. It's made me smile.
What I like is that they are basically fed on the waste of the city. So fruit peel from supermarkets and from the big fruit warehouse, which is just behind us, grass from cutting golf courses, and football fields and parks, and beer broth, which is a waste product of a brewery. That's so cool.
Waste products of a brewery.
It's all powered by that floating solar farm that's next to it.
And it's a world first farm, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Very cool.
So the floating nomads go to a floating dairy farm.
Time to go to the Winkle.
The Winkle shop. Hi. So this is Parmigiano, not Parmigiano, Parmigiano. So this is their version of Parmesan.
Drying very slow, so
Cows visited, cheese purchased, and even a loyalty card got for when we return.
Because we will.
Yeah, I don't know how many years that will last. Right, time to finally, sorry about that, get to Delfshaven and some historic buildings. You see, even when you go wrong, it's still super quick and easy to get anywhere in this city. Hopped on a tram and the metro, and it took a matter of minutes.
But it's like we've come out in a different city. This is so different to the rest of Rotterdam.
It's beautiful.
So this place didn't used to be part of Rotterdam at all. It was originally built as a port to service the city of Delft, which is just up there. Delft isn't by the sea, and they needed to be by the sea, so they dug a canal all the way from Delft to here to come out into the river. And Delfshaven literally means Delft's harbour. So this was their harbour.
Now, I'm just going to say it before you say it, because I know you're thinking it as well. Copenhagen,
Yeah.
Nijhaven.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's quite an important church behind us there.
Well, Delfshaven and this church are important in American history as well as Dutch history. So it was from here, it was from Delfshaven, from outside this church, where the Pilgrim Fathers set off for America.
on the Mayflower.
Not on the Mayflower. So they boarded the Speedwell here, and the ship got into difficulty as they were passing Southampton. So they changed ships there and got on the Mayflower.
Wow, okay. So it wasn't the intended inaugural ship to get there?
No, it was not. It was not. And the word pilgrim was first coined right here in Delft. William Bradford, as was writing in his diary, referred to himself as a pilgrim and the journey to America as a pilgrimage. And that was the first time it was used.
We had a brilliant time there in Delfshaven yesterday, and we loved it. It's very picturesque,
Yeah?
but it's not why we like Rotterdam. The whole thing is the vibrancy and just how alive it makes us feel, especially on nights out.
I mean, Amsterdam is like that. Of course it is. It's one of the liveliest cities in the world. It's known for being hedonistic, but it is a bit like being in a museum.
Yeah.
And it is very busy at all times.
Yeah. And as we walk over this, one of many bridges, we can look at the famous Erasmus Bridge with a cruise ship next door to it, because that is where the cruise port is. And that's how we found out about Rotterdam in the first place. We just did a day here whilst on a cruise a few years ago.
That's not true. Listen, do you not remember the first time we ever came to Rotterdam was on a ferry from Hull?
Yes, but we didn't come to Rotterdam.
So what we did was we got straight on a bus and went to Amsterdam. And that's what lots of people do.
Yeah, that's exactly our point, isn't it? We used to do that Hull-Rotterdam route, and everybody just used to go on a coach straight to Amsterdam. But that's the point. Rotterdam is a brilliant destination in itself. So we're walking over this bridge to get us to the south bank side of the city. Really nice places to just chill out by the water there. It's one of our favourite districts, and that's what we're doing tonight. But also, we are going to be walking past the cruise port, and we may as well tell you now, we'll be back there again in 3 days' time. So we made it to one of our favourite parts of Rotterdam, right by the harbour here.
Katendrecht, this district is called, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it's really lively, and actually, I know I'm doing it again, it reminds me of somewhere.
There we go.
Bizas, Buenos Aires, and by the harbour with all the bars there. Anyway, it's always nice to have water and pints, well, half pints.
This place is interesting though, because this was nearly all demolished. In the 1990s, when Rotterdam wasn't going through a good time, they nearly got rid of this district completely. And it was quite historic, so the Holland America line, which is the famous shipping line, used to use these warehouses around here. And they are some of the biggest warehouses in the world, and they were just empty for a long time, but now they're all being used as really cool spaces like this one where we are now.
It's called Fenix.
The Fenix Food Factory, and it's like a food hall and a very, very good brewery.
Yeah, with loads of different craft beer. So I've gone for a sour. A pineapple sour. It's not as sour as I'd like. I do love a sour beer.
And I've gone for a very fancy lager. It's really good.
Yeah. So this place was actually opened by someone that used to work in Borough Market in London.
Yeah, it's an interesting story. So this chap went to work in Borough Market in London, got really into craft beers there because it's a really good place to get craft beers from. Came back and realised there was nothing like that here.
Yeah.
So started his own brewery, and it's just there. It's right behind us.
So we're going to enjoy this half a sour, in both meanings of the word, and then we're going to cross the bridge to go to a very famous hotel, which is in the Holland America building. So the Holland America ship line, really famous, and we're going to the building where it was their headquarters.
It's now a hotel.
But it's had many guises. There it is, just ahead of us.
It's a cool building to look at, but it's also got quite a lot of historical significance as well. So at the early part of the 20th century, over 1 million people left that building to go and start new lives in America. So just as the fathers left Delfshaven to go and found America, hundreds of years later, people were still leaving this city to go to America as well. Like, America wouldn't be America as it is right now without Rotterdam.
So when did they stop going from this terminal?
When flying became a thing.
Oh, okay. So
it became,
there was no need.
Yeah, it became derelict for years and years, and it was turned into a hotel in the 1990s.
Okay. So really important building,
Yeah.
not just for here, but for America as well.
Cheers. Cheers. It's Carver, not champagne.
Yeah. It's absolutely amazing to be this close to such a historic building and to drink at its bar.
It's really architecturally interesting as well. I don't know what style that is, but I really, really like it.
We are here at essentially the old cruise port. It's not a cruise port, is it? But
Cruises didn't exist then.
no, I know. But right next door is the new cruise port, and it does have a cruise ship in, the Majestic Princess. So it's very close to where they used to set off anyway.
It's right next door.
Yeah. And in 3 days' time, as I alluded to before, we are hopping on a cruise ship from here, and it is a Holland America cruise.
We're going to be going to the Norwegian fjords, and it's a really good time of year to be doing this because today it is early July, and we're hoping that we're going to get to the place near the Arctic Circle where it doesn't really go dark. We've never done that before. We've never been this far north before.
I'm going to call it a midnight sun cruise.
It's not.
It very nearly is. It's near to summer solstice as we can get, really. It was a very last minute deal, and there are some downsides to that, which you'll find out about next week. It's never long enough for us to be in Rotterdam. We've enjoyed it so much, and I hope you have too. Until next time. Bye.